What's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel for another episode on I bought a salvage vehicle at auction for cheap, where today our new project will be a 2006 Chevrolet Monte Carlo SS. So before we get started, if you're into salvage rebuilds, automotive projects, or you like cars just as much as I do, then be sure to click that subscribe button so you can follow along with everything that goes on here on the channel. So with the completion of the Salvage Fiat 500 Abarth project, I figured it was time to pick up a new salvage project. While looking at the listings of the local salvage auction, this 2006 Chevrolet Monte Carlo SS caught my eye. I always liked the body style of these cars, and with this thing being black and an SS with the 300 horsepower LS4 V8, I definitely was interested. So I placed my bid, I got lucky, and I ended up being the high bidder. So we made it back home with the car. Now this thing is a 2006 Chevrolet Monte Carlo SS. It has a 5.3 liter V8 engine and it is front wheel drive. And as you can see, the car is in really good shape. We're going to do a walk around and take a look at this thing. But I'm pretty impressed with how nice this thing is. It really is a nice car, besides the collision damage in the front. And just as I thought by looking at the pictures, it's really not that bad. Now with the hood open, you can see it's really not that bad. Now we do have this radiator support that is pushed back over here on the passenger side, as you can see there. But it didn't even touch the frame rail. It didn't touch the crossbar for the front bumper cover. And believe it or not, it really didn't even hurt the front bumper cover except for some scuffs over here, so we'll have to repaint that. The main concern for me is getting this radiator support back out of the way, because if you look right there, we have our battery, and of course it is damaged. So that's going to be the first issue of business, because I want to get this thing off of the rollback, and to do that I need to address the battery. And from this angle you can see a little bit better what I was talking about the radiator support. It's really the only damage here. You see this kink, we've got a little kink right here. All this stuff can be pulled out pretty easily. There you see the battery is tucked underneath there. This box comes out pretty easily so we can get to that battery. But we need to get all this straightened out first, so like I said, we can get this thing off of the rollback. And as you can see, I've already taken a few pieces off. Here's what's left of the headlight, and this is the brace that would go right here. As you see, that thing's kinked up pretty bad. Now I've got replacements for both sides, and I'm not very fond of this red cheesy kind of look. Probably do something about that on the engine cover too. But we're going to start off with the simple stuff first. First order of business is to get that battery out, and then we'll get this thing off the rollback. We'll walk around this thing, we'll talk about it, we'll talk about all the parts it needs and some of the other little minor things that we might need to replace along the way. So with a little bit of work, you can see I've kind of straightened this out a little bit, and there needs to be some more work done there. But as you can see, everything is moved out of the way, and we can pull this battery out and get a fresh battery in. So we got a battery in, let's get this thing unloaded. So now we got this thing down on the ground, we're going to do a walk around, and we're going to take a look at all the things this thing's going to need. And obviously we're going to start right here on the front, and we do need a hood, and I believe the front bumper cover is actually good. We just probably need to paint it. Of course we're going to need all the stuff behind the front bumper cover there, and a headlight, and we need to do some more work to that radiator support. We'll get to that in a minute. Obviously we're going to need a fender. We've got a busted windshield, but the rest of the body of the car is in very good shape. I mean, the doors, the quarter, we got some scuffs here and back there on the back. Looks like we are missing a mirror, or the glass out of the mirror. Moving around to the back side, same thing, is still in pretty good shape. Just needs to be cleaned. Down the driver's side, A few little dings here and there from normal wear and tear, but I mean, otherwise than that, the body looks really clean, nice and glossy. There's a few scratches, nothing out of the ordinary. So moving along inside here, we obviously have the airbags blown. And that's not a big deal because we'll just replace this bag and we'll replace the passenger bag. But as you notice, the reason why the windshield's cracked is because of this dash cap. It's completely blowed out. It's broken. That's going to need to be replaced. Interior is pretty clean. The seats are not ripped up. They're actually in pretty good shape. You know, normal wear and tear. I mean, is to be expected on a car of this age. Just needs a really nice, good cleaning on the inside. And one thing I did notice is the seat belts are locked up. So those are going to have to be rebuilt along, you know, with the airbag module too. And the other little issue that I noticed here, we got an issue with the sunroof. It looks like it's stuck in the open position and there's some problems with the bracketry there, and we'll just have to work on that. So underneath the hood here, we have the 5.3 liter V8. A few issues that I do see here. We have an airbox here. It's got some kind of duct tape on there. We're gonna go ahead and replace that because that's just terrible. And you can see our filler behind the bumper is all busted up. We need a hood latch, and we're probably gonna need to replace this airbag sensor. And we're gonna obviously need to do some more work right here on the radiator support. Now I've got this pulled out pretty good, and really all this is just sheet metal spot welded together. And there's probably 3 or 4 different layers. And what I can do is I've already kind of drilled out some spot welds here so I can kind of pull on it a little bit. But what I can actually do is probably undo a few more of these and get this whole area straightened out, all the stuff behind there, and get all the individual layers straightened out, and then I can tack weld those back together and then finish spot welding them and then do body work on this panel. Or I can actually just come in and replace this top panel and section, you know, this outer sheet metal skin in. But believe it or not, this is really strong. This thing took a lot of pressure to move into that position. I've kind of gotten a little ahead of myself, and I've already got most of the parts to fix this car. Coming along into the shop, here I have a nice glossy black hood. And here I have a dash cap, fresh from the junkyard, also an airbox, a hood latch, a filler panel, a headlight, and I also have a fender. So now that we've taken a look at the parts and we've taken a look around the car, now it's time to start this thing up for the first time and see how well it runs. Let's hop in here. Fires right up. Of course, we're going to have a bunch of warning lights, airbags. We have some kind of charging system issue. I believe that's probably a fusible link. There was a battery terminal that grounded out onto the frame. That should be no big deal, but it seems like it runs really well. And one thing I forgot to mention is this thing already has an exhaust system on it, which is actually kind of cool. It's a thrush system. Let's go check that out. It's got a nice, cool sound to it. Not really loud, but it has definitely a performance sound, and I really like that. That saves me from having to go to the trouble to put an exhaust on this thing, because that's definitely one of the things that I wanted to do with this car. Now, since I already have most of the body panels, I'm going to go ahead and concentrate on those for right now, and I'm going to remove this old hood, get the new hood on, and we can go from there and see how everything else on the front end lines up. Now that we've had a chance to take a look at the condition of the car and we have most of the parts, we can start the rebuilding process, which is exactly what we'll do in the next video. So until then, I'd like to say thank you for watching. Be sure to check out all my videos on all my other projects. Also check out my merch store for cool items for sale that help support this channel. And if you're not subscribed, be sure you click that subscribe button, click the bell so you'll get the notifications, and you can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram.